Hello, this is Tracy Payton, and today's webinar video tutorial is going to be on the settings area of your Signarama franchisee website. So we're going to talk about on how you can log in and change and set up your site. And we'll also be talking about some of the default pages and areas that you have available to you and how to make changes on those pages. So what you see in front of you here is the management area. This is the back end of your Signarama site. And from this home screen, you'll see a navigation toolbar up at the top. And we're going to be spending time in the settings drop down. So if you click on settings, you can see you have general settings, default pages, managers, contact details. We're not going to get into third-party settings, but we will be addressing the change log, which is a nice feature to have. So from the settings drop down, just to get started with your website, you'll want to come to General Settings. General Settings is where you have your site title. It's also where you can put a meta description, either 1 or 2 sentences about what your site offers. It's also where you can insert meta keywords for your site. So these are overall site meta keywords, and you can separate them by commas. So again, this is what your customers are probably going to Google when they're trying to find signs or banners or vehicle graphics. The other area you have here is products and pricing. Its default is to show prices on your site. So you can see that that is grayed out and checked. So pricing is available on your franchisee websites. You do have the ability, though, to change your price margin on all your products on your site, so across the board. So you have some margin restrictions. You can plus or minus the margin by 35. So if you enter in a new margin here, again, it will add and change the sale price for all products on your website to reflect that new margin. Now you also have lead times. This is in addition to the supplier's lead time, so you can add in or subtract days there that you need. And any changes that you do make on this general settings area, you will want to save. So you want to click on Save Changes located in the top right of the page. The other thing you have on settings is managers. So we'll go into managers. This is where all the different users, so if you have someone that you want to give access or is a user of the site, this is where they would appear. And then you can actually determine what permissions they have available to them. If they are checked with the box Manage, that means that they have access to this management area that we're in here today. And they can make edits and changes to page content, to attributes, colors, banners, and so forth. The other thing that they have, or you have the ability to assign, is if you check inquiries, that individual will receive an email when an inquiry is made on the site. And the same thing goes with orders. If an order is made on the site, anyone with orders checked will receive an email notifying them that a customer's come on and placed an order on that website. So once you've made your selection as to what permissions you want to give each user, you can go ahead and save changes up in the top right. If you'd like to add users, at this time you do need to go through corporate or call trade only, and our support team will register those users for you. And once they're registered, they will appear here in the management area of your site, and then you can designate what permissions you'd like to give to those users. Now, if you go back to settings, the next thing on the drop down that you'll see is contact details. So this is where you'd want to insert your telephone number, fax number, email. So you can insert that, and on your contact page, this is the information that will show. You can also put additional URLs for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so forth. So you can put those in here as well. And again, any changes you make, you'll want to save your changes in the top right. Now, I want to talk about editing the content of your site. You have what's called default pages that are already system pages set up on all your Signorama franchisee sites. So if we go into default pages, you have the ability to turn on or off these pages, and you also have the ability to edit the content of these pages. So what you'll see here is a list of those pages. So if you scroll down, you can see a pretty long list of system pages that have already been created for you. Now, if you choose to go in and make a change to one of these pages, so for example, we do real estate signs, I can come in and edit this particular page just by clicking on edit. And what that's going to do is pull up this text HTML module. Now you can edit the information on this page a couple different ways. First, I could go ahead and put my cursor where I'd like to add some more text. So I could say something like, please Okay, so we could add text just by typing that in. You'll see, just similar to a Word document, you have these icons. So you have the ability to bold information that you want your customers to pay attention to. So if you want to bold it, you can underline it, you can put italicize it. Now you also have different font colors that you can make that text, different sizes and headings and so forth. So that's one way. You can put your cursor in there and type in the information you want to add or edit. Now you also can copy and paste text and images into this area. So if you have some images you want to just simply copy and paste in, you can just put your cursor where you'd like to put those images and then paste it into this document, into this module. Okay. Now, other ways in which you can get images into this area is through this little icon here, which is Insert Edit Image. Looks like a postcard. If you click on that, you can go ahead and browse the server and choose maybe a banner image that's already in there. Or I might want to browse and upload a new file. So I might want to put this image in there and I can upload it, make my selections and upload it. And then once I select it, it'll bring it in and I can adjust the width and the height of that image. So if I wanted to make it 100 by 100, I could just key that in there and it will automatically adjust the height. Now if I have custom height and width, I can go ahead and unlock and put in my ratios here. So it's up to you what you'd like to do for that image. I'm going to lock it down at 100 by 100. So once I've gone ahead, I've browsed the server, I've made my selection, I've changed my width and height. I have a couple other options. I can come in here, I can link it to a URL, so I can link that image that way. I can also choose what type of link I want to have. So if I want to have it linked to a new window or open within the same window, I can do that. So we'll hit OK. And you can see that it's brought that image in there. Now, if you've chose to copy and paste images or text into this area, that's fine. It's also very easy to link text and images. All you need to do is select the image and then come up and click on this world or globe with a link, and that's going to allow you to link it to another URL. You can also link it to an email or link to anchor text. So it's just up to you. Just cancel out of that. And you can link text the same way. You just highlight the text that you want to link. And then I can hit that link button and then it will pull it up and I can type in the URL. And then once you've made your changes, you can go ahead and save your changes just up here in the top right. And when you do so, you'll see that it gives you a reset link. And that just allows you to click on that if you want to revert it back to its original content before the changes were made. So we've gone ahead and edited the real estate signs, and we'll take a look at what that's going to look like on the front end to the customer in just a moment. The next thing I do want to mention, in addition to editing the default pages that have already, system pages that are already set up for you, you can also edit the attributes of those pages. So not only can you edit the content, you can also edit the meta description and the meta keywords for each of those system pages. So again, if you go into this About Us, you can see there's a description and keywords. If you want to edit that, you just click on Edit, and it's going to allow you to edit that description and those keywords for that specific page. And you'll see you have many system pages in which you can go ahead and edit the attributes of each of those pages to maximize or give you search engine optimization. Okay, so we'll scroll back up here to the top. And lastly, the thing you have here is the miscellaneous tab. And this is where you can upload an image of the store. And this will be shown on the top header of your website. So you just go in and browse, select a file, and then upload that file. And you can change that image, and that will automatically display on the front end for your customers to see. So the last thing I want to mention before we take a look at that page, that default page we made some changes to, is under settings, you also have what's called a change log. And this just documents all the different changes that are made, by whom and when. So you can go in and see who's making changes to your site. So this gives you a nice history of the changes that have been made. And then you can view those pages. So we'll go ahead and view the site. And again, when we view the site, this is what the customer is going to see. And I believe we went into real estate signs. So I'm going to go into local projects. And I believe we went into real estate signs. Let's see. Outdoor signs. And then if we have lawn signs, here's real estate sign. And we'll click on that. And you should see that image that we brought forward. There it is, that number 6. So you can see that on the page. But again, any edits you would be able to see. We also typed some text, and you can see that there as well. So that includes that basically concludes our webinar / training video on setting up your franchisee site and just making some basic edits to the pages, the default pages that have already been created for you. Thank you very much for your time.